Joining me now from our bureau in Washington, D.C., Deputy Policy Editor for Breitbart, Amanda House. Amanda, per the Constitution, the lower federal courts are the domain of Congress. So the AG is telling Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, hey, wake up, guys. It's time to do your job. It's time to rein in these rogue judges.
Absolutely, Graham, and thanks so much for having me on. You're exactly right. This Attorney General, time and time again, he's proving that he is not going to back down to the leftist tactics that we're seeing. And those are simply this. The left wants to legislate from the bench. Those in Congress, Pelosi, Schumer, etc., they don't want to actually do their job. So instead, they're relying on these lower district courts essentially to legislate from the bench. And as AG Barr just laid out right there, during Trump's first 2 years in office, the courts have already issued 37 nationwide injunctions. During the Obama administration, in the first 2 years, just 37. That's more than one per month. Right. And that is the left's goal here. And this is just putting more and more spotlight, Graham, on how important it is. We cannot lose sight of how important it is that this administration is putting a heavy focus on packing the courts with conservatives. And that, I do believe, will be the lasting legacy of this administration. It's
one half of the equation, that's for sure. The other half, though, is Congress doing its constitutionally mandated job and slapping down these judges and putting term limits. I think it's high time we have term limits on the lower court judges. Again, it's the job of Congress. And speaking of Congress, in Pennsylvania 12, the Republican candidate wins despite the redistricting that went on in Pennsylvania, and I believe it was completely unconstitutional, but this was a district, I believe, that was pretty heavy pro-Trump.
Absolutely. Now, we saw Donald Trump out there on Monday giving a rally there, saying actually in his speech that this election on Tuesday was going to be in some ways a referendum on his administration. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw yesterday in a key Rust Belt state, a GOP state representative, Fred Keller, win by a 36-point margin. Now, the state itself it's an R plus 17, so it is a pretty pro-Trump area, but that huge margin goes to show how this administration, they're not losing momentum. They're looking pretty strong headed into 2020, especially when it comes to those Rust Belt states.
Married women who are liberal and atheists, according to a recent piece of research, apparently are not as happy as the opposite of that liberal married atheist.
Yeah, so this was a big study that was released yesterday. The New York Times rolled it out, and you would think, Graham, that this was some of the worst news that the progressive leftists have gotten in recent times. What the study shows is essentially that it's not the more progressive, liberated women out there, those feminists, that are the most happy. Instead, it's conservative religious women. And if you think about it, that shouldn't come as quite a surprise to people. The leftism, the entire ideology of progressivism in the way that they use that word today is based on being dissatisfied. It's based on feeling oppressed and feeling like you're not getting the good part of the deal. And so, of course, these people are not going to be happy with their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, conservatism, especially American conservatives, are all about God. In fact, I don't know a conservative who is not religious. The two kind of go hand in glove, and therefore, that should make you a little bit happy. Amanda, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.